They had it on Netflix. I don't know if you peeped it when it was on Netflix a couple months ago. Like I watched both of those two back to back, and it fucking aged like fine wine.
Yeah, part 1 and part 2. Actually, I prefer part 1, the original movie, only because they actually used their weapons in that movie.
They was like fighting.
Part 1 was fighting. Part 1 was official. Like that's what I'm saying. Like April
Yeah.
got her house burnt down. One of her houses burnt down. Her boss's son was some. Wait, that was part 1.
That was the second one.
That was the second one? Nah, the first one was her boss's son. He was a thief. Yeah, the second one's Keno, Ernie Reyes Jr. Yeah, Ernie Reyes Jr. son, ARJ son. He been a man for a minute.
That man, to be honest, that man is an animal. Y'all better see what was it? The one he did with The Rock when he was just taking it to him.
Yo, he's talking about the rundown.
Yeah, bro.
Did you know? Did you know that he was the body double? Like he was the actual body actor for Donatello in the first movie?
Yeah, he's super underrated. As
like
a
he was legitimately Donatello, bro. He himself was so raw. That's not him, sorry. He himself was so raw. He got like casted in a role in it as his own character. And Keno was like, I think Keno was probably one of the better parts of that movie.
Even Jim Henson made the suits, and we're talking like Muppet Man.
OG,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so that was one of the last things he did. And I felt like he put such detail. Those suits worked so well being in a time where there were no special effects like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think like this, like that's why they called that man. Like those suits did so well in the middle of New York that people were able to sit for almost a 2-hour movie, and the suspense of belief.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that alone, and that shit dropped in 90.
The best way to do movie graphics back then was the practical route to make it believable. Because even if you look at movies that were like otherworldly, you know what I'm saying, and they like had these huge landscapes and shit like that. For Star Wars, for example, those were just matte paintings. Like actual artists came in and painted on large canvases these super high detailed matte paintings, tangible things, tangible effects. That's why the success of Star Wars is still so impactful to what big Hollywood blockbusters is to people.
And I think they need to bring that back when they reboot this, like. And I think people need to look, even though I feel they're overrated, they need to look at the Nolan films, the Nolan Batman films, because they were all practical effects. You know, the two creators, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. The two of them really being a part of this. I hope that they get more. I hope that this opens a door for them to be more involved with things, and they go the direction that things were going in before, and they're like, yo, why don't we take it back a little bit to where we had this?
Bro,
things are better
I agree.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, for sure. Yeah. And it should be supplemental. Like, I think I'm not here to shit on CGI. I'm not here to shit on, fully CGI characters entirely. I think some of them have been done really well. For like Thanos, for example, was done really well, right? But I'm not so much a big fan of the full CGI of Spider-Man. So when I think about what the new TMNT movie could be, like I would love a TMNT television series on HBO Max. I would settle for Netflix. But I would really want HBO Max because I understand HBO shit is just overall more edgy. Quality that they should absolutely focus on is A, that they are teenagers, and B, that they are ninja. And I need to see more action sequences that speak to that. Because in the last Michael Bay movies, like there was not anything very like ninjutsu-ish about their form. There was nothing that was very like as far as the actual form of the martial art itself, there wasn't too much of that action going on in that movie. There wasn't very much stealthiness happening either.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't very much
wasn't
very much like any of the elements of what we know ninja to be. We not seeing that from these movies. and we're not seeing that even from a young ninja perspective. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like where they're still learning,
and
but
that's,
they're not.
You know what though? It's crazy that you mentioned that, man. And the only reason, and bro, I'm only cutting in because you brought up the teenage part. That is the biggest thing they have always fucked up on when they've taken the IP. They feel like adults.
Big, right?
Like not every time, but about what I would say like 80% of the time. Even in the Fox one, I felt like, well, no. In the beginning, yes, but when it went on, it didn't feel like I was still watching TV. It felt like I was watching.
Yeah. All right, this is what I think the masterpiece would look like for me. Okay, tone wise, I'm thinking Stranger Things meets Daredevil. I'm thinking Stranger Things meets Daredevil.
Yo, Netflix, you gotta write this down.
You gotta write this down, homies. We're just here to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. That was perfect. Like I actually I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Like Stranger Things meets Daredevil.
Before having you.
Bro, I've been dreaming of watching the perfect Ninja Turtle experience for a very long time. If they did fight scenes like the fight scene on the roof with Raph and the rest of the Foot Clan, if they did stuff like that in a remake, bro, oh my god, because that's honestly one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in all of TMNT-dom, bro. It might have been like a 15-second sequence where they never cut away. And Raph like bounced off the wall, came back. He did like a roundhouse on one buddy. He like took out like the first 7 and then was like, how the fuck y'all gonna beat me? And then like 30 more of them jumped them.
Scene right here, boom, 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 boom. Like that scene, like this scene is the craziest.
Yeah.
Off the wall, boom, back, boom. Come on, son, my man's is on it.
He always lets his guard down to talk shit. That's his problem.
Yeah, that's true. He should have just kept rolling on him. If they are able to capture the magic of that style of like one shot fight sequences where like maybe you only do like 1 or 2 cuts to, you know what I'm saying? Like let us feel the impact of every blow. Let us feel the energy that's generating from the leg of each fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see those details, and that's why I really was like, yo, Stranger Things meets Daredevil. I think that would be so fire. I get the retro vibes. I get the awesome music. I get the really cool, young youthful group story. With the Daredevil aspect of it, you get that up close, gritty, dark. You feel the risk of life here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see that there is risk. I want to see that the tone of realism is abundant. Really, that would be it for me.
I believe you see what the fuck you ain't no one property. Vibrate higher, don't you mute your colors of nobody. Say you nothing, fuck out of here, go for your win, no need for you to slow up. Well, none of these nobodies. So your dreams and go up.